Line change. This is going to be our Canucks versus Jets game recap. Just a heads up, I missed the majority of this game, as I mentioned in one of our previous videos. So it's not going to be much of a recap, as I wasn't able to actually watch the game. I was able to listen to it, but not actually visually watch and break it down. So for most of this recap, we're just going to go over the goals and some post-game notes. And of course, we're going to give you our player of the game. Starting with the first period, Drew O'Connor scores his 9th of the season at 4 minutes and 55 seconds, assisted by Hughes and Bluger. This also happened to be Bluger's 100th career assist. So hats off to Mr. Bluger on that career achievement. Ehlers scores his 22nd of the season at 14 minutes and 50 seconds, assisted by Nemesnikov. And then Brock Boeser draws a penalty. Fleury goes off for tripping. And then the Brock star, Brock Boeser, scores his 19th of the season on the power play at 18 minutes and 29 seconds, assisted by Hughes and Lekaramäki. It was a beautiful goal. I actually managed to catch the highlight on this goal. Beautiful tip in by Boeser, and it's also great to see him get on the score sheet. As we all know, he's been in that goal drought, and a lot of eyes have been on Boeser, especially with him being a pending UFA. Canucks are 1-for-1 on the power play. This actually ended up being the Canucks' only power play of the night. They get it done on the power play with their only chance. Then Höglander scores his 6th of the season at 19 minutes and 57 seconds, assisted by Boeser and Elias Pettersson. The final shots in the period were at 9-6 in favor of Vancouver. Second period, and also I believe I heard on the broadcast that this was the first time that Connor Hellebuyck has allowed 3 goals in the first period, so that's a plus for the Canucks. And also it's the first time the Canucks have scored 3 goals in the first period since October, so there's a big number right there. Iafallo scores his 11th of the season at 7 minutes and 7 seconds of the second period, assisted by Tanev and Schenn. Brock Boeser does it again, scores his 2nd of the game, his 20th of the season at 13 minutes and 57 seconds, assisted by Marcus Pettersson and Höglander. Then Suter scores his 19th of the season at 14 minutes and 43 seconds, so about a minute later, assisted by Sherwood and DeBrusk. And on this assist from Sherwood, he has eclipsed his career high in points. So, once again, hats off to Mr. Sherwood. Hronek got called for a high sticking penalty, and then shortly afterwards, while the Canucks were trying to kill the penalty, Bluger gets called for delay of game, knocking the puck over the glass. This was actually a weird one, as I heard them talking about it while listening to the game, that it went into the Jets bench, but then also went over the glass, so that's why they called it a delay of game. It was a tough break for Bluger and the Canucks, but the Jets were unable to convert on their 5-on-3. The penalty kill comes up big against one of the best power plays in the league. So the Jets were not able to convert on the power play, and the Canucks' penalty kill continues their run of being one of the top penalty kills for about a month now. The shots in the second period ended up being 9-7 in favor of Vancouver. Shots after 40 minutes, 18-13 for Vancouver, which is crazy to see. Halfway through the game, Canucks are out shooting the best team in the West. And then the third period rolls around. Canucks were getting severely outshot in this period, as Winnipeg was really pressing. And then Suter scores his 20th of the season into an empty net at 19 minutes and 57 seconds. It was unassisted, and the Vancouver Canucks end up winning 6-2 against the best team in the Western Conference. I'm going to tell you right now, I had already kind of written this game off as a loss, as it's Winnipeg. I wasn't expecting the Canucks to win this one. I was expecting them to beat Utah and then lose this one, and the opposite happened. They lost to Utah, and then I don't want to say they spanked the Jets, but they got some revenge considering the last time they faced the Jets, they lost 6-1. So they got a little bit of payback on Connor Hellebuck and the Jets by winning 6-2. And I'm just going to go ahead and say that wasn't on my bingo card. A 6-2 win against the best team in the Western Conference. Definitely did not have that on my bingo card. Canucks are able to score 6 goals once again after only scoring 1 against Utah. Again, hats off to the Canucks. Shots in the period ended up being 8-4 in favor of Winnipeg. Final shots in the game ended up being 22-21 in favor of Vancouver. So they outshot the Jets by just 1 shot, despite getting severely outshot in this third period. Post-game notes. Lankinen with some big saves I heard while listening to the game. He came up big for them, which is great to see as always. Lank the tank. Elias Pettersson's point streak continues as he got an assist on the Höglander goal, just before the buzzer in the first period. Elias Pettersson's point streak is now at 5 games, 3 goals and 4 assists. So Elias Pettersson continuing to stay hot, which is great to see. Although he did struggle in the face-off circle, I noticed looking at the game sheet, he ended up going 4 for 10 in the face-off. So that's not great. However, Winnipeg has some top-end centers, with Scheifele. They have Ehlers, Velarde. I didn't look at their game sheet, but they have some top-end centers who are pretty good in the face-off dot. Sticking with Elias Pettersson, he had 1 shot on goal, 1 missed shot, and 4 blocked shots. So Pettersson blocking some shots tonight, and he had also 1 hit. And then Brock Boeser came alive here tonight with a 3-point night, 2 goals and an assist. Quinn Hughes also points in 4 straight. He's now up to 65 points on the season. Höglander continuing to surge. He's been playing great the last several weeks, especially considering how bad he was earlier in the season. And then with the way he played last season, people were expecting him to at least come close to that or repeat that. He hasn't, but he's been turning things around and he's been looking really good. I do like Höglander and Pettersson being on the same line. I think they should keep that line. As a matter of fact, I think they should keep the first line as Höglander, Pettersson, and Boeser, especially after how tonight went. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm not the coach. Suter with his 20th goal of the season, as we mentioned, continuing his career year, and Suter also is a pending UFA, so it makes you wonder if the Canucks will, in fact, go out and re-sign him. We did cover a video a number of weeks ago asking that question. You can find it up here. Also, some good news for the Canucks, as Thatcher Demko will join the Canucks on the upcoming road trip. So he will be traveling with the team. This most likely means that Seelovs will go down to Abbotsford, and I've heard rumblings that Demko could maybe start on Saturday. Fingers crossed that he can, as that's going to be a big game against the Rangers. Keep in mind that game will also be starting at 10 a.m., so it's an early one. There's no word on Hedl yet on whether or not he will be traveling with the team. As of this recording, it's 2 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. I assume later today we might actually get word on whether or not Hedl will travel with the team. So stay tuned for that. And then let's go over our player of the game. So tonight's player of the game for the line change is Brock Boeser. 2 goals, 1 on the power play, 1 assist. He was a +2, 2 shots on goal, 2 hits, and a ice time of 19 minutes and 38 seconds. So tonight's player of the game honors are going to the Brock Star, as he had one heck of a game. He came out guns blazing, and so it's only been 1 game, but A lot of people were talking about Brock and and his goal drought and how he's not producing, or he can't produce without JT Miller, without somebody feeding him the puck. Well, he was able to bury a couple goals here tonight. Let's hope that he can continue this going into our upcoming 6-game road trip, and hopefully he can finish out the season strong. This performance is likely to start up contract talks again, as things got a little quiet for Boeser. I've seen a lot of people saying he's not worth $8 million. He's not even worth $6 million. We're not really going to get into that in this video, but I am a little interested to see if the Canucks end up offering him a new contract, like giving him a new offer after this recent surge. We do have a video coming out later today where we talk about Elias Pettersson and Rick Tocchet, so stay tuned for that, as that's going to be an interesting one that I happened to stumble across earlier today. Quite the topic, so I hope you're all looking forward to that. And that's going to do it for this game recap. A little bit shorter than usual and not as detailed. Apologies for that. The game on Thursday will be a full-on recap, so look forward to that as well. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to The Line Change, go ahead and subscribe. What are you waiting for? That way you stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks content on this channel. Not to mention, you really help out the channel quite a bit as well. Go ahead and drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought about this big win against one of the best teams in the West. And that's going to do it for this video. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video.